plan out those flexible picks because that is something that we can into the draft as NEXPLAY Esports is now drafting against Action PH for match number 1. And Fiora now out of the table.
I love that our classic matchup in the Baron lane is gone. Basically, Camille, another one. They're hovering another one, but we'll have to check out if that is the confirmed ban because that is crazy. That means Ziggs is open, Lee Sin is open, Gragas is open as well. Even whatever you choose here is going to open up so many things. If you ban out the Galio, Gragas and Ziggs is open for the taking. And we'll have to check out if NEXPLAY decides to go for that Ziggs prio pick or something else that they have in store. As Galio is open.
Oh, no.
Right, Galio is open, Infinity.
Galio is open. The synergy or a support, or not a support champion, but more of the reactive type of champion. We talked about how Galio is just too strong and flexible in terms of teamfight. The damage is there, the reactive play is there, and overall, the AOE/CC is there as well. Now, Action PH has to decide what are we looking forward to match this up. The Kaisa is open. Now that they picked up the Braum, it's actually quite a viable champion. But they don't want to give Ziggs onto the side of NXP because this is gonna be a very damage and a chaos type of champion.
Yeah, I absolutely love this pick. Either NEXPLAY would decide to put the Lux in this second rotation for themselves to deny that Ziggs Lux combo that we keep seeing. Maybe they could go something else. Disaster did pick up the Lux before, I believe yesterday as well, so that will be a no stranger pick. But again, I believe this is our first time seeing Mitch at the Baron lane, so this could be a possibility on the top portion of the map, and Yamada can aim to get a matchup that he so desires.
Yeah, I like the flexibility here for NXP because they picked up the Galio, the Lee Sin, the Darius. So you know for sure you have the jungle and the Baron laner up and available for NXP. But the Galio is very flexible. There is still a potential for them to now go for the 1v1. The Lux is open. The Draven is open for their team to pick up. But now they're prioritizing onto that Orianna. Action PH has the Vi already, has the Kaisa already. They want to answer it with the utility champion.
Yeah, more utility. We mentioned Orianna being such a high value pick, fitting in so many compositions. I mean, it could be Uzi on the Orianna, but never mind because that Draven is going to be locked down. That means that's going to be their carry for Uzi. But this time, we talked about it. What will AIM do aside from Vi? But it seems that Vi is still going to be the game plan for Action PH. Now, Lux is open. You could actually are missing the Baron laner. That could be a Jax. We've seen Jax before, and it is.
They did it again. I think they've answered NEXPLAY Esports before in the past in a 0-3 immediately the first 1 minute of the game. They are farming champions and we might expect it once again from Action PH. This is their comfort pick, and if they get the lead when it comes to the game, they could punish Draven, they could punish Orianna and the Lee Sin jungle of NXP. And if they do get this might be looking into a 3 games. But I'm looking forward into a lot of matchups when it comes to the early game because there is a lot of potential for NXP and Action PH to both scale out in the first 3 minutes of the game. Now, who is gonna go on top will now be the question on who these teams are gonna lead coming into game number 2.
This is exciting. This means more action again with the Galio pick. That means you want to utilize your numbers advantage. You want to utilize how, again, just as you mentioned, being a little more reactive whenever Action decides to pull the trigger, because that's definitely what they're aiming for. They do want to get a head start either of making sure that Yamada's lane is safe on this Jax, or else his growth and scaling is going to be a little bit slow, and that's not what you want on this Jax pick most definitely, considering that NEXPLAY does have that Darius, does have that Lee Sin on the opposite side of the spectrum. I love NEXPLAY's comp, by the way, because it's mainly for me loving any sort of that spells 5v5 team fights. Ooh, yeah, like boom, rather, not boo, it's not Halloween. I mean, I guess the Galio jump scare works, I suppose. But yeah, the ball delivery system works so well for NEXPLAY. Either you set it to the Galio or you set it for the Lee Sin. And I'm looking forward to their execution for sure.
I do agree, because when you have Galio, when you have Orianna, when you have Lee Sin, that just speaks out team fight. And Lee Sin could be the one to dive into the middle of Action PH, and Galio is now being able to go for the massive setup. And with Darius available for their team as well, this alleviates some of the tanking alleviations or deficit of NEXPLAY Esports to match it up on maybe the Braum and the Jax of Action PH. So this is looking very and very interesting thus far when it comes to the draft. When it comes to the draft and champion pool, I mixed up these two words and I went in for the draft. It's not a word.
Understandable.
But yeah.
It happens. It happens. But yeah, I do agree with you there. A bunch of tanky champions on the side of NEXPLAY as well. So I love the balance. You are basically doing a protect the king as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the Kaisa anymore. It's protect the king. King Draven here. Action PH in the meantime. I love their wave clear in the form of at least the Ziggs as well. Able to match up the wave clear of the Orion in the mid lane. So they don't... They wouldn't have the same problem that Galaxy Racer had in their game number 2 against Team Secret. So at least there's that. You mentioned scaling as well. So a lot of pressure onto Riots for the late game insurance for the next maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the game. I guess for me, let's see whether or not Action PH is able to survive the early game and sort of alleviate pressure away from Yamada for him to make to have his comfortable laning phase for him to get the Jax powered up. But a little bit worried because NEXPLAY, when they know that they're in, when they know that they can take you on, they get really, really aggressive.
And yeah, looking at this draft, when you have the Jax with a lot of melee champions of the side of NXP, I think this has some potential. And they did it in the past. I'm looking forward to do it once again against NEXPLAY Esports. But now the problem is the mid-game, late game fights for their team. They are very dominant when it comes to early game, but mid-game, late game, you have a lot of scaling. I think we keep on repeating this because it's just there. Lee Sin is strong in the early game. Draven is strong in the early game. But Galio, Oriana, Darius, when those champions are stacked up in terms of items in the mid-game, they're just gonna dominate the team, they're just gonna dominate the arena, and they're just gonna sweep out the enemy team.
I love that you brought up, you know, a lot of melee on the side of what do you call this? Of Action PH. Going to have to be careful as you will be vulnerable to any of Disaster's taunts on this Galio. So positioning will be key when it comes to the team fights, especially on Riots as well in the Kaisa. Better time your killer instincts. Make sure you do not eat a taunt to your face when the fights happen later on.
NEXPLAY Esports. I like how Just Cheat did there. He went into the mid lane, tried to go for a response if ever a fight occurs. But he went in for the ward, there's no fight, there's no response. He went in back, he went into the red buff just in time. And like, just the little plays there, but that is just so important when it comes to their game.
Yeah, one of these mini mind game fights coming from both of these teams, just as you mentioned. So looking at the duo lane here, I understand, you know, Simon and Riots being extra careful. We've seen how the Kaisa and Draven lane went from the very first series of today, and it didn't look pretty. Even though you had the Braum, Draven would still just walk towards you. Oh dear me. Echo, very low.
Yeah, Sonic Wave, Charlie with a poke, down to low health. But we have Aim though, setting up play, going in for the ball breaker. Chule is in the middle of the fight, but we have Just Cheat, just to go for the support, just to go for the response. The first blood is coming right to NEXPLAY Esports, is gonna take it home. Killing of Aim in that mid lane.
Oh dear me. Unfortunately, yeah, they weren't able to kill pure Chule in the mid lane, unfortunately. And first blood, just as you mentioned, in favor of NEXPLAY. That is so well timed. It's just very unfortunate for Action.
Z-Mitch though, gonna go for hook onto Yamada, but he really just wants to go for those pressure. With half HP left from Yamada, Z-Mitch can now scale out in terms of the wave pressure against Jax. And if Jax doesn't actually get a hold of the early game, it's not looking that good when it comes to mid-game, late game.
Yeah, definitely not looking too well, because you're even surviving, again, because of this, air quote, neutralized pick from Z-Mitch on that Darius. So, I love it. He's even trying to freeze the wave, so Yamada doesn't get a low lot. And see,
Oh, the taunt connects the two. It's gonna be the Lee Sin diving in right through into the matchup. It's Galio being the MVP in that engagement, in that gank. But Mega Infernal Bomb just to secure the damage output against NEXPLAY Esports. The satchel charge. Chule forced the flash away, and that will be it. NXP is happy with 1 kill.
I love the matchup. The jungle matchup between these two teams. Justchi and AIM. Oh no.
Oh, the ultimate! The right timing of the barrier just saves his life, and Yamada went in for the counter attack. Onto the stun, onto Z-Mitch. Z-Mitch falls down.
Justchi though.
Justchi coming right through, go for the smite just to delay the fight, going in for the slow. He gets the kill, he gets the trade. It's a 1-for-1.
Ooh, I mean, a little bit greedy there, coming from the side of Yamada. Could have went home immediately after getting the kill, but wanted to finish the wave, considering that, again, Z-Mitch denied a couple of waves away from him earlier, so he just wanted to get a little bit more. But next play, again, Justchi at the right place, at the right time, is able to at least equalize that into a 1-1 with, again, we know, Lee Sin, early game, once he gets a bunch of kills, he's just so painful after one combo.
One combo indeed. If that combo connects, it's pretty much over for these two teams. They have a lot of synergy in mind. And if that works, if that corrects out, it's gonna be pretty massive. But now, NEXPLAY Esports, stating their dominance into the Dragon lane. They're just diving under the turret, clearing out waves like it's nothing.
It's so difficult, just as you mentioned, because you're up against a Draven who is just gonna chunk you out, just gonna head straight and bypass the Braum. Great to Riot here. And then you've got the Galio, you mentioned, with such amazing wave clear. But now the first dragon has spawned, so we'll have to check out how NXP, controls.
Oh, Taunt is now going to connect onto Braum, and that is going to be the 2-match shockwave from NEXPLAY Esports. What was that, Chule? And that will be Action PH falling down to the ground. AIM, 1 HP though, is still going to be alive as Chule is looking in a very bad situation. Sonic Wave connected onto Eiko. It will not come through as we have Jax at full HP, and they don't want to risk it. They got a kill already, and they want to fall back.
I could tell Yamada wanted those kills. It was such a perfect situation. NXP, a lot of members are low, but he has to be careful. Again, Disaster is on that Galio for the taunt, and again, has to be a little bit wary or else he might be put behind. But APH here does have first dibs on that dragon.
Disaster also has the ultimate available from that Galio, so this might be the contest coming right through. But we have Jax coming right up for the contest here against NEXPLAY Esports. Action PH secures the first objective. Ocean Dragon is coming for APH, and they will get the gold in their favor. But NXP though is gonna get that trade from the tier 1 turret into the Baron lane.
A good consolation prize at least for NEXPLAY, able to push down that top side tower, extra gold for that first blood turret, but giving props to Action PH as well. They were able to survive, be a little bit more patient, and they are rewarded with the first Drake of the game, and they're definitely fine with that as well. Props to Eiko with that satchel for that pressure near the Dragon Pit as well to scare off some of the NXP members just hovering around the Dragon Pit. But I mean, we still have that Rift Herald, which is NEXPLAY's first dibs on area.
Rift Herald is now going to be initiated by NXP. Action PH is just looking to go for it. Vi went in for the Assault and Battery onto the Lee Sin, but that's not going to be enough. Disaster going for the ultimate, knocks up that Braum, but the flash is going to be occurred by Justchi, trying to go for Eiko, going for the Dragon's Rage. That might be the double kill. Mega Infernal Bomb just go for that. Justchi is just too tanky. Kaisa went in for the poke, goes in, but no killer instinct will be done as Galio will be the sacrificial lamb as Action PH will not get the secured kill onto Justchi and Uzi.
Take note, all of this time since the dragon fight, it was a 4v5 situation. Z-Mitch is just focusing on knocking down these towers, getting that 4-1 arrangement for NEXPLAY. And Yamada as well, having to farm all this time unbothered now because the lanes are pretty much open. He doesn't have to deal with Z-Mitch for the time being, but he will have to deal with Uzi on this swap here. And he's gonna be fine. I mean, at least Disaster is not gonna be with him, but at the same time, I feel like, you know, AIM has been doing well in terms of matching Just Cheese constant ganks from these lanes. But now, APH decides to just, okay, we're gonna destroy this mid lane tower now.
But Chule with the clear of the wave, in a blink of an eye, it's gone. And Action PH is now forced to back away with no turrets being secured in their face. So still, it's gonna be the advantage for NEXPLAY Esports having that 5k gold lead with maybe 2 to 3 core item saver against Action PH.
Yeah, so far, you know, wave clear duty has been on Aiko's side, but he is going to be trying to shove at least the bottom side of the map. If they want to chunk down fast turrets as much as they can, they have to have Aiko with them. But so far looking good though, 6-3, but the gold lead though slowly climbing in favor of NEXPLAY.
But fight is gonna occur. AIM went in for the Soulman Breaker onto Uzi. Uzi is gonna fall down with a Mega Infernal Bomb just coming right through with the damage. But Galio is gonna fall down as well. Action PH slowly but surely taking down one hit after another against NXP. But a Braum is gonna get secured by NXP as well. Yamada onto the sideline going for the flank. Chule is very low. Simich though goes for the hook, and Yamada is very low. The ultimate is not gonna secure the kill as Yamada is still alive. But there it goes. Simich is gonna secure Jax. It's a 3-4-2 in favor of NXP.
It's so difficult to keep fighting under these towers because you know they have that Galio who is so prepared to dive and initiate for NEXPLAY, and Disaster has been doing a very, very good job. At first, it looked like it was. The fight earlier under the tower felt like it was in favor of Action PH, but at the end of the day, we were banking on Yamada having a comfortable lane. He's still trying to scale up here and there, but Mitch is in the way. Mitch is in the way of all that. I mean, he's a Jax. He has a lot of sticking power, but Mitch sort of denies that. And if you add the Galio into the equation, it makes things a little bit more difficult for him. We'll have to see if Yamada will just fall back into this split pushing monster that we constantly see when we see a Jax.
But the answer is gonna be yes. Yamada is slowly backing away for now because Action PH is hovering topside jungle and NXP does the same. But Disaster and Uzi is coming right through for the response. This stun is gonna connect onto Mitch, but the fight is gonna occur right after because the taunt is just there from Disaster. The ultimate is gonna come right up, zoning out the enemy team. The double stun is gonna connect against NEXPLAY Esports. It's not looking that good. It's a 1-for-1, but Kaisa falls down. Rayat is removed from the table of Action PH. As Chule goes for the poke, goes for the kill. It's gonna be Rayat again and again. Aiko is gonna fall down. It's Braum, the only one remaining. It's Simon, the support of Action PH, gonna fall down. It's a team ace. It's a team whiteout from NEXPLAY Esports.
Look at Justy too, just going golden there, flexing a little bit on Action PH, and that was such. While it was a little bit of a long fight, it was so executed well by NEXPLAY Esports. A lot of trust. Look at Disaster, even though he's super low, Chule was nearby to give out the shields from the Orianna. So it was such chaotic but good. For NEXPLAY, they will take it. They love it. They've managed to eliminate everyone without suffering too many casualties. Action PH was not able to was not able to exchange it from anything off the map, and unfortunately Yamada's lane at the top side is growing smaller and smaller and has to farm the other waves instead, as Mitch will continue to ruin his day.
They went in for the quick response against Action PH, and they've fallen down to the ground as Yamada is once again gonna be slain down by NEXPLAY Esports. But we have Disaster going in for the 3-man taunt, and that is gonna be big. Glacial Fisher just to delay the fight. Mega in for a bomb, big damage against NEXPLAY Esports. But Leeson going to die. At the end of the day, the king of the jungle cannot fight against 5-man team of Action PH.
Yeah, take note that Orianna or Chule wasn't around in that fight, and NEXPLAY was a little bit too deep. Riot was and AIM were able to get at least exchange kills here and there. That's a little bit risky.
Wallbreaker, I thought it was actually coming up against NEXPLAY Esports, but he thought, you know what, let's just clear the wave, let's just clear the minions, because we need that wave control in our favor.
It's so difficult for Yamada, even though he's winning all of these 1v1s, being that split push monster. They've got the Galio. Disaster is just gonna fly across the map and then make it a 1v2 situation, which obviously Yamada doesn't want. I think that is definitely the threat that APH has to encounter most of the time. I believe maybe baiting it out first before having to try and split push and do that 1v1 would be a possible option for APH. But again, Action still has that scaling for the Jax and as well as for that Kaisa. And I think they're doing a good job trying to slow down the game. It's just that NEXPLAY Esports is just super duper aggressive, and they've been getting, you know, objectives left and right and making sure that every single time they clash, they'll remove a tower off of Action.
And speaking of tower, it looks like NEXPLAY Esports is looking at the tier 2 turret into the Dragon Lane. If they get this, this is gonna open up the map control in their favor, and specifically onto the Infernal Dragon. It's now up, and NEXPLAY Esports has dominance into the Dragon Lane and into the mid lane.
I mean, the jungler is far away, Just G is far away, so Action, they can decide to steal this.
Absolutely, and that will be it. But Double Man Stun, Double Man Taunt is gonna be there from Disaster, from that NEXPLAY Esports. That is pretty massive. They're going for the knockup, they're going for the kill. But Action P8 still wants to go for Action as they hear contest from the Infernal Dragon. It's a 4-man kill from NEXPLAY Esports. AIM is the only one remaining, but this might be the end. It's gonna be the ace, it's gonna be the wipeout from NEXPLAY Esports. Time and time again, NXP is putting the 5-man kill against Action PH.
You absolutely can tell how far ahead NEXPLAY is in the game when you see the jungler split pushing when the dragon is up, and you see Action just trying to contest that. And NEXPLAY, some of them want to end the game, some of them want to go back and push the other waves instead, but Chule zoning them out.
Too much damage coming in from Chule, putting half HP from Simon and Riot, and that is after hitting massive. The Dragon's Rage just to the clear of Yamada and Action PH as NEXPLAY Esports cleared every single inhibitor turret in the game against Action PH, and that is not looking that good for their team.
Definitely not looking good. Just as you mentioned, everything is open now. Nexus is about to fall, but another fight.
Yamada going in for the stun, actually connects onto the support. Mega Infernal Bomb, too much damage to handle. Uzi's gonna get melted down. Disaster is still gonna be alive, but not for too long. Galio is gonna be falling down. It's a 3v1 as Just jostling around. Bai is gonna get killed and make it a 2 as Just G, the king of the jungle, is here as he goes for the ace. He goes for the wipeout. It's 3 aces in a row.
3 aces in a row, they're looking to end the game. Everyone's down and the Nexus is about to fall.
NEXPLAY Esports takes game 1 of the second series against Action PH.
Legends never die.